Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I'm Jim. Just watched Killer Body Count on Tubi. This is a 1 hour and 49-minute long movie, 2024, just recently released. It is a horror comedy. Ugh, I keep risking these reviews on horror comedies, but you know what? This one paid off. The movie synopsis is really what sold it for me. I didn't get a lot out of the uh, poster look, didn't kind of do it for me. But this synopsis did, and maybe it will for you too, if you're a sick old fart like me. So, mistaken for a sex addict by her devout father, Cami is sent to an isolated rehab center. But when a killer begins to hunt the teens, Cami realizes that her survival and her independence are intertwined in ways she could never imagine. Woo, you had me at sex addict. You had me at the fourth and fifth word of this description. Anyways, um, this is TVMA. I don't think they do the R rating or anything like that. I'll just preface too, I'm going to make like a lot of sexual innuendo jokes because this movie is full of them, but done in a dark, humorous way. And also, there's a lot of that religious dark humor too that I do enjoy, pointing out the faults of Bible scriptures that contradict each other and things like that. So there's like this isolated rehab center is like a Bible camp. So um, yeah, keep that in mind. If you do go to watch this movie, I'm going to list off some trigger warnings also in a second. Um, at first, when I first started watching this movie, I thought that the concept was very similar to the 2022 film They, Them with Kevin Bacon. And if you remember that movie, if you didn't see a quick, brief description of that is Kevin Bacon is running like a camp for helping you get the gay out of you. If you're gay and you aren't supposed to be because of society or whatever, your parents send you to this get out of gay camp, and Kevin Bacon was there. And then like all sorts of things happen. So this isn't a camp necessarily, but it is deep in the woods. It's an isolated location. It's a former church. And yeah, directed by Danishka Ether Hazy, written by Jessica Landry, and starring Casey Cassiel Eatock-winnik as Cami, Eugene Bjorn Steinbeck, Alex McGregor plays Tawny, my favorite character. She's so good, and for some reason, I was just really her. She was very tense and she was very good. There's a character named Wyatt by Savannah Tardieu, um, Mia by Nicole Mama Jet, and so Eugene and Tawny are brother and sister, and they're running this isolated, stop being a sex addict camp, church, whatever, retreat, treatment center, whatever you want to label it. And yeah, so we get an opening right away with a couple of youngsters in a tent in the woods, bumping uglies, popping cherries, and it's a very quick scene. And the girl asks, "Is that it? Is it supposed to feel like that?" And that's kind of a running gag throughout the whole movie. Is the shortcomings of the boys to be able to deliver the goods for the girls. Um, and there's like a lot of like stereotype high school boy mentality in the movie, and there's also the other side girl stuff too. So it's very funny. Um, this says that it was filmed in South Africa, Cape Town, South Africa. I would have never known there were so many forests in South Africa. Who knows? Oh, so yeah, so we get to that tent scene, and then of course we get the immediate. We get some kill. and we get a look at the slasher, and it's a very slasher movie. So despite the amount of sex, I'm going to say, or sexual innuendo or perverse language and conversations, it's not like that is like equal parts to the slasher story, because um, when Cami and her boyfriend get caught canoodling in the church, actually, that they were going to, the priest and Cami's father, widowed, um, they come to terms with Cami's obviously a sex addict. If she would be doing such things in the church, in God's house, for all whatever, and so she gets sent to the. I wrote down the name. I want to make sure I give it the right. Son of a. Oh, Beautiful Savior Treatment Center. It's the Beautiful Savior Treatment Center, BSTC, which I think, I don't know. Is that an anagram for bitch? I don't know. Um, yeah. So trigger warnings: mutual masturbation, solo masturbation, incest, lots of buttocks, but only the males. It's interesting. This movie does everything to show some naked bodies of some very fit young men, but not the women. It is what it is. I think the director might be a female and the writer was. I don't know if that's a commentary on, they're just trying to even the level the playing field, so to speak, and just equal things out. It doesn't distract from the movie at all. Just something I noticed. We also established there's no cell phone service, and also um, they get their cell phones taken from them once they are admitted into the treatment center. So Cami gets a tour of the place. She sees a hot dude. She gets like crazy. Um, Goo goo eyes and jaw drop, and they do the best slow mo, wind in the hair montage for this guy walking through the little courtyard where they're at. And it's just a really fun scene. And that's also usually in the reverse, where the guy sees the girl coming toward him and the hair kind of flows in the wind and everything. And they did the reverse. So very clever, very clever. Um, I meant to mention that that opening scene was very kind of like Scream-esque, where we get a look at the killer and the ferociousness of the killer right off the rip, and then the opening credits. I think when movies do that nowadays, it's kind of like an homage to Scream, because the best of my memory, that's who did it first or did it the most memorable. I don't know. So yeah, they go drop off. There's all kinds of different Easter eggs in this movie too, either deliberate or not. But there's two different scenes that are definitely deliberate. Porky's um, Easter eggs, which is so bizarre because that's an older movie. And that's a high school sex romp comedy, coming of age story, and yeah. So the movie is an hour and 49 minutes. If I have a criticism of it, it might have been a little too long, but I was engaged the whole time. We do put up with some, different kinds of shenanigans, and I don't want to get into too much spoiler stuff, but there's definitely story going on with Eugene and Tawny, who are the brother and sister that are running the facility. There's interactions between the girls, there's the boy sides, and then there's the times when they're together. Um, there's a slow count of kills throughout the first half or so of the movie, and then things really go cuckoo when uh, Cami had seen the first kill and was trying to report, and nobody believed her, and blah blah blah, because the facility, of course, has a urban legend attached to it, and apparently there's a history from 20 years ago of a deviled masked killer that did some massacre 20 years earlier. And I'm not giving all of the details because I do highly recommend this movie if you're not really triggered by blatant, like, you know comedy being added into a slasher film, and not even just comedy, but it's a lot of sexual comedy. Like there's not like a lot of nudity, but it's just the tone is all sex humor and the shortcomings of guys in high school and girls, and is that what it's supposed to feel like, kind of things. I don't know if I'm describing it very well. um, I will, however, spoil two of my favorite lines in the entire movie before I wrap up this review. uh, One of the lines was, "You're killing my post-sex high." I thought that was hilarious, and it makes a lot more sense when you see that scene. And then there was a comment that was also one of my favorites, and it was, "Just shut up and eat it." And I'll let you wonder what that is. It wasn't spaghetti, I can tell you that. This movie does offer a lot of blood, some brutal kills, and a lot of very good practical effects. So kudos, because practical effects are a dying breed, and I really do appreciate when you see it and it looks good. And there is a pretty crazy reveal at the end that I actually didn't figure out. For this movie being an hour and 49 minutes, I was entertained. I had a few chuckles. I thought there was a good amount of blood and brutal kills, so that's a plus. And the reveal, I actually didn't figure out. I did not um, figure it out. And that might be spoilery to mention that. So if it is, I apologize. But this is free on Tubi. I would say, for me personally, because I do like this kind of movie, it's up there close to Low Lifes. I think Low Lifes is Tubi's breakout movie of 2024. So everything is set to that standard. And this is, for me, very close to that. And I thought it was well written. Acting was good. Everything was really good about it. And it had an ending I didn't see coming. So you can't ask for more than that with the movie. Go check out Tubi. Come back to this channel and keep checking for more, you know, videos and stuff like this.